Since we have a couple absent, I'm going to record today. And when I record the lessons on my website, the web for it that day, or if you didn't understand something or I went too fast for your notes, you can get to that. Okay? So that's what the recording will do for you. Okay? All right, today we're going to talk about angle bisectors. So let's first just talk about what does bisect mean. We did segment bisectors yesterday. So who can tell me what bisect means? What's it mean to bisect? One person out of class can do that. A few more. Okay, bisect. Let's go ahead. Okay, Mitch, to cut in half. And by in half, you mean equal parts? Okay, yes. Bisect means dividing into two. If you open this up, then let's see here. This is pop my bag. Bisect means divide into two equal parts. Divide exactly in half. So today what we're going to do is try and divide a angle exactly in half. So there's an activity, once you open your books to page 60, so that you can see what the directions are. I'll get you some patty paper. It was kind of hard to fold it, so like we did yesterday after we folded, we talked about a construction. We will have a construction. I think I have it at the end of the lesson instead of right now. But what we did was bisected it. So here's your definition for your notes. An angle bisector is a ray because it starts at that vertex point and goes out through the angle. You keep going, you could draw it forever. It's a ray that divides an angle into two angles that are congruent. Divides an angle into two angles that are congruent. Now the marking in the picture there, notice I put an arc on the top half and then not directly connected, I moved it over just a little bit and put my second arc. Because do you remember from the first chapter, if your book had this continuous and then said like 60 degrees, it was telling, yeah, it was telling you the whole thing is 60. So on what we're working with right now, you don't want this mark for the angle bisector to look like it's one continuous mark. You want two smaller marks. So that's why I offset them just a little bit as I did that. So the angle bisector. Maybe I'm saying this angle is congruent to this angle. 2 marks, 2 marks, those are the same. Bisecting the angle. So if I told you the whole angle, you'd be able to divide by 2 and get the smaller one. If I gave you the small one, could you give me the other small one and the whole thing?
Possibly.
Possibly? Well, let's try. If this is 25 degrees, what's the other small angle?
25.
25. And what's the whole big angle?
25 plus 25 equals 50.
Which is 50. Correct. Okay. So you're really just doing some multiplying by 2 or dividing by 2.
It's kind of like bisect.
It is exactly bisecting.
Yeah, I know. But with an angle.
Okay, on this one, I've got a picture started, but I didn't label it at all. Okay, so on this one, draw a picture like what I have up here, and correctly put points G, H, J, and K on the picture, according to what I wrote right up here. I want that picture to show me that ray HK bisects angle GHJ. Label where the points would be. Make that work out right. Put a dot where the points are. stuck the ray that's doing the bisecting, it says it's supposed to be called HK. So the one that's doing the bisecting is HK. So that should tell me this point is H. And then on here somewhere would be K. And that ray keeps going. It bisects angle GHJ. So the big angle is supposed to be called GHJ. So I don't care if the G's on this ray or on the bottom one. I'm going to put it here. G, H, and J's out here somewhere. Bisects. What markings should I put on the diagram to show that that ray bisects the angle? The curves. Yep. But this curve, this angle is supposed to be the same as that angle. Okay, so now with that information, I'm going to give you something and have you answer the two questions. I'm going to tell you the measure of angle GHJ is 110 degrees. I want you to answer my two questions. What's the measure of angle GHK and KHJ? Yes, that's what the directions say. Each half is the same. You don't have everything marked in the picture that I have marked.
Oh.
So you want those two angles to be the same.
Yeah.
Together it has to make 110. I don't know if you drew it with the protractor exactly right, just what numbers would they be? The whole thing was 110, how big would each one have to be? Supposed to be 110 total. Now, I'm not sure that you drew the angle exactly what I said. I don't think these are because I'm saying imagine that this is a picture. And you put it as your protractor down. I didn't tell you that ahead of time.
That's like
This is 110 total. These two are supposed to be the same. Two identical numbers together add up to Okay, how do we do this problem? Not everyone got there. Okay, 110, up here please. 110 divided by 2. 110, we're going to divide it by 2, we're going to find half of it. And that should be, bring down the next 0, 55. So this angle was 55 degrees and this one was 55 degrees. They needed to be identical because we said it bisected, and they need to together make 110 degrees. Okay. All right, let's try another one. I flipped the picture. Again, do what we did at the beginning. Make markings and label the points so that, case did the same thing. Ray HK bisects angle GHJ. Jamie, what point did you put here? G, and then the corner? This one? I kinda tricked you. J would be this one. This one was,
Okay.
right, and you got marked.
Does it matter when you
bisects.
put G and J?
G and J could be flipped.
Okay.
Okay, so on this one, it's a smaller angle. So the measure of angle GHJ this time is 74 degrees. I want you to do the measure of angle GHK and the measure of angle KHJ. Should come out to be
37.
37. 37 that time. Question, how many got that one right then? Did we do much better? Yeah, we did a lot better that time. So 74 divided by 2 is 37. All right, another one. I've done part of the picture and marked something in the picture. What additional thing did I mark on this diagram?
90 degrees.
Okay, I put a 90 degree. I did not finish everything that I wrote up here. So finish this for the picture. Use the information I gave you about the angle, and then answer the question. Some of you are using your protractor to measure. I'm not making my numbers match exactly with my picture. The picture's kind of as a reference. The angle is maybe approximately what I'm thinking, but if I would really grab my protractor and measure, it's probably not drawn exactly right. And that would be the case for your pictures too. Some of you are drawing an angle, then I'm telling you a measure, and you're trying to get the measurement using your protractor. That's not going to work because your picture was not matching the number that I started to do. So you're using the picture just as reference, and we're saying, okay, imagine that that angle is 90 degrees, even if it wouldn't measure that with my protractor. Let's use it as 90. If this thing is bisecting,
45.
so that this half and this half are the same, it would have to be 45 degrees and 45 degrees in order to get a 90-degree total if it's an angle bisector. Right, question on that one? Nope. Okay. Now be careful where the markings are, I guess. Okay, now this is a little bit different setup. Look at what I put in the picture. I drew a ray, and by putting these markings, I indicated that I want it to be an angle bisector. I didn't tell you the whole angle, but I gave you this in a variable form and that in a number. How would we do this to find what x is?
Make an algebraic expression.
Yeah, I'm making algebraic, probably equation, because you're probably gonna have equals in there. Kind of an algebraic expression or equation. Right, that would help us. This seems to be better. What's the relationship between the information that's up there? Dallas, what equation did you start with?
I did 6x plus 1 equals 85.
Okay, exactly right. And I saw that on quite a few papers. These two angles have to be the same. How do I know that? Well, because of the markings in the diagram. It's telling me they have to be the same. Okay, then you're solving, you're subtracting 1. 6x equals 84. And I did see some doing that division rather than just grabbing a calculator. 84 divided by 6. Went in there once. Bring down the 4. 6 into 24, 4 times is exactly 24. So we should get x to be 14. So looking at the directions, let me get rid of my division part here. It says find the value of x, we just did that, and the missing angle measures. Okay, so this angle's missing. What's this one going to be? What's 6 times 14 plus 1?
85.
It better be 85. That's what we planned out. And what if I asked you for what the whole big angle is? 170. You would just add your 85 and your 85 together. All right, next problem. Find the value of x and the missing angle measures. Do the next sample problem up there. Find what x is and what the angles are. If we're using a calculator in class, it needs to be an old-fashioned calculator. I know the iPads are really handy, but they are really tempting to go off and do other things while you're supposed to be focusing on what I'm doing. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, what's X? 25. X was 25. Small angle was 65 and the whole thing was 130?
Yes.
Do I need to show work on that one? I haven't got that right. Okay, we're almost 100% there. Okay. And how about this one? Find the value of X, find the angle measures. Right. So, yeah, okay, everything else is wonderful. Thank you. All right, we've got quite a few flashcards up there. There are a couple that I need to add a picture to, but if you are interested in starting in on those flashcards, she does have those sets. This one's maybe not as easy as the last two because I don't have a number in there for you. But think, what did you do? What was the relationship? You needed to make those two small angles equal, right? So you need to make 4x equal the 6x minus 18. That's why I'm having you do that review algebra worksheet so that you remember how to do some solving. Where's the 18 where it was? Maybe let's get the 6x to it. So, how do you? No, not 6x minus 18. What's the suggested first step? Okay, and the like terms are on different sides of the equal signs. So how do you get them together? Okay. All right, so you're probably going to not add 4x, Brandon, because.
I said subtract.
Did you say
4x.
subtract?
Yeah.
Now, if I subtract 4x, I'm going to get a 0 on this side. I don't like doing that. So instead of subtracting the 4x, let's subtract the 6x. Notice that's on different sides of the equation. Okay, what's 4x minus 6x? Negative 2x equals, should have dashed that all down, equals, what's the sign in front of the 18?
The negative 18.
Yeah, it's a minus up there, and so now that I got rid of that, it acts like a negative. So negative 2x equals negative 18. Divide by negative 2. So negative divided by negative is what sign?
Positive.
Positive. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So x should be 9. All right, let's find missing angles. So 4 times 9 is 36 degrees. 6 times 9, 54. Minus 18 should come out 36 just like the other one. And what's the whole angle? 72. So what was the difference on that one? I didn't give you as many just straight angle measures. You had to do a little bit more algebra, okay? Let's try another one. I guess this one's got the number again. I'm going to keep the difficult ones. Find the value of x, find the missing angles. We're a lot more comfortable when there's a straight number in there instead of the variables. And the value of x was
8,
8, correct? And then the small angle was
45,
45, and the whole big angle
90.
was 90. Okay, we did pretty good on that one. All right, let's go to the construction next. I think you're getting pretty good. Let's grab compass and straight edge and construct the angle bisector, and then I think we have gone.